Hello, I'm Nadja Callender, Deputy Chief of Family and Community Partnerships at Houston ISD. I'm so glad you're joining us today. These parent town hall meetings are focused on sharing information about important programs with HISD parents. In addition to hearing about the programs, we answer your most frequently asked questions that are submitted by our families. This series is part of our ongoing commitment to talking directly with our families and answering their questions. This summer, Hurricane Beryl hit our city a few weeks before school started. Many hardworking families who would normally be getting ready for back to school had to shift their attention to replacing hundreds of dollars of groceries, and many needed support to buy school supplies and uniforms. As we distributed food and supplies to families, we spoke with grateful parents that were able to get back on track because of the assistance we were giving them. Today, we're going to learn more about two of the HISD teams that provide direct assistance to our families. At HISD, we're deeply committed to supporting the well-being and success of all of our students. We recognize that every student deserves a best-in-class education, and providing the right support both inside and outside of the classroom is crucial to helping them do their very best. For years, we've worked alongside community partners to ensure our students and families have access to essential services. These services include everything from basic needs like school supplies and clothing to mental health care, enrichment programs, and much more. We offer immunizations, telehealth services, tutoring, and even legal support, resources that make a real difference in the lives of our students and families. In the last year, we've expanded these efforts, identifying and engaging new partners to help meet the increasingly diverse needs of our community. At HISD, we understand that no two students are alike, and that's why we have 48 dedicated staff people at our schools working directly with educators to provide wraparound services for students. These specialists are focused on supporting the immediate needs of our students, whether that's a new pair of trousers or a box of food. But we also know that some students and families may have more complex needs that require a deeper level of support. That's where our external partners and the Sunrise Centers come in. Last year, we launched 7 Sunrise Centers, which are now operating in community locations across the district. These centers help families access solutions to immediate needs like food and clothing. Sunrise Centers also act as a one-stop shop for solutions to longer-term needs like mental health counseling and ESL classes. What's even more powerful is that we have launched the HISD Continuum of Care, which links wraparound specialists and Sunrise Centers to work hand in hand alongside our educators, counselors, and parents to make sure that our students get the support they need to thrive academically and personally. I'd like to introduce Jacqueline Rockamore, Director from Wraparound Services, Melanie Gomez, Director of Sunrise Centers, and an HISD parent, Crystal Thomas. We're going to hear from you ladies. I'm so glad that you are here to be a part of this really important conversation today. So thank you all for being here. Jackie, I'm going to start with you. Can you talk to us a little bit about how Wraparound is structured and how it works inside schools and what the specialists do?
Sure. Well, we have 48 team members, and those team members provide direct support to every campus here in the district. Wraparound specialists partner with school liaisons or representatives at the school that provide support to students when wraparound specialists aren't able to be at the campus. So wraparound specialists travel from different schools, and they're able to reach out and address students' needs even though they aren't housed directly at a campus.
About how many campuses does one wraparound specialist work with?
Averages between 7 to 10 campuses each.
Okay, wonderful. So can you talk a little bit about the needs that wraparound specialists help students with typically? Like what are the day-to-day challenges that the specialists are helping students and families address?
Yes, so wraparound specialists typically address basic needs. So food, clothing, school supplies, uniforms in particular, but they're available to provide support or hear whatever the students need.
So you talked a little bit about the school liaisons. Can you talk about how wraparound specialists collaborate with the teachers and school staff to make sure that students are getting the right support that they need at the right time, and maybe share an example of a time when you've had an opportunity to make a significant difference for a student?
Sure. So wraparound specialists receive referrals. The referrals are called student assistance forms, or SAFs. Teachers, counselors, anyone at the school, even parents, are able to submit a SAF, and it'll go directly to the specialist indicating a specific need that has been identified.
Okay.
One example that stands out to me was at an elementary school. The teacher observed the students coming into the classroom, and a child had holes in their shoe. And so the teacher submitted a referral. It was cold outside. The referral said the student is in need of shoes and possibly a coat. The specialist contacted the teacher to find out a little bit more about it. And before the end of the day, the child was presented a brand new pair of shoes and a coat.
Right, wonderful. So finally, for parents or families who are not as familiar with wraparound services, you mentioned that there's a QR code to a form that they can fill out. What other ways can they access the resources, and what should they do if they think their child might benefit from some additional support?
Parents are able to contact the school. They may ask for the wraparound specialist or ask for the SAF or a link to the QR code.
Okay.
The parents are able to log onto the HISD Wraparound Services website, and a direct link to the SAF form is there. And they may also access a flyer that should be in the main office of every school in the district.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. What happens if there's something that comes through on that SAF that a wraparound specialist maybe can't help a family with?
Well, specialists are able to provide direct support addressing food, clothing, uniforms, but if there is a case where those resources aren't available at the campus level, the wraparound specialist will reach out and contact Sunrise, and Sunrise helps address whatever needs can't be readily addressed at the campus level.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, Jackie. I think that brings us over to you, Melanie. So talk a little bit. We heard a little bit about Sunrise Centers, but can you tell us what they are and what specific services that you offer or that are available to students and their families?
Absolutely. So Sunrise Centers are one-stop shop service hubs. And so we all of our 7 Sunrise Centers have core programming, and that is our basic needs, mental and medical health, enrichment for our students and or for our adults. And then we also serve our students who are in transitional living.
Oh, okay. So when you say transitional living, what is that? Tell me what that means.
So any student who would qualify under the McKinney-Vento law have a different requirements that we need to meet as a district. And so our team services these students with the different resources that are on hand. So that could be to what Jackie alluded to earlier. It can be clothes, food, but we are their advocates in the district.
Okay, and so when you say McKinney-Vento, you're talking about students that might be classified as homeless. Correct. Or doubled up, like living with another family.
Correct.
Okay.
So any of our students who would be in transitional living, like a shelter, not in a typical, structure, in a car, for instance, and or if they're living with somebody because they're having hard times, we ensure that we are focusing on those students.
Okay. So how do the Sunrise Center supports differ from what is available directly on the school campus, and how do they complement what Jackie talked about with Wraparound?
So with Sunrise Centers, we have the opportunity to dig a little deeper. We're able to case manage our families with additional needs other than what it can be directly supported with at the campus. As Jackie mentioned, they do provide basic needs and your uniforms and clothing. We do also offer that at the Sunrise Centers. However, we're able to have an intake session with them where we're able to find out what are the additional needs. We know that they're coming in for maybe clothes or food, but there might be, there's a some root cause. How can we address that root cause of what the family is currently experiencing?
Talk a little bit about the external partners that you work with. Who are they, and how do they kind of help enhance what you're able to do for families?
Absolutely. So it's really exciting that 6 of our locations are co-located. So we are in a space with organizations that already exist in our community. So a lot of the times these organizations have programming that we can extend to the families that come into the center. On top of that, we partner with the Houston Food Bank and Second Serving. 3 of our 7 locations have a market. All of our locations have an emergency pantry. But we have workshops that we offer through organizations like ALAR or Workforce Solutions, where our families can get financial literacy, ESL, GED. So we are supporting the adults in the family so that they are indirectly supports the student.
I think that we should maybe hear from one of our parents, and we have HISD parent Crystal Thomas here. Ms. Thomas, talk to us a little bit about your family and how you wound up working and being in a Sunrise Center.
Well, I am a single mom of 6. I have 3 that's out of HISD. I have 3 that's still in. I have 1 at Northside and 2 at Madison. You spoke about Barrow earlier. There was a time I worked for myself as an independent contractor. Funds just wasn't there because I was unable to work. So I told the school that I needed coats because I'd already bought coats, but then the hood got eliminated out of HISD, so I needed more coats. I couldn't return them. So the school went ahead and told me there's wraparound specialists that can assist me. They took my information. They gave it to the wraparound specialist. They get in contact with me. When they did, I told them my need, and they were like, I can either wait or I can try to go to a Sunrise Center. So there was one right around the corner, which is Orem, and went in, met with Miss Barbara Walters, and she told me, things they do, and then she also got me in touch with one of her associates that worked there. We did a whole intake. We found out I kind of needed help with electricity too. I do it, but I didn't know they did it. Right. So they went ahead and I got my coats, the electricity paid, and it was just such a blessing. And I didn't feel as I was asking for a handout or anything. They made me feel really comfortable, so it was a wonderful experience.
That's great. When you think about your experience at the Sunrise Centers, and we're talking to other parents like you today, tell us what you might say to a parent that might be a little bit nervous or hesitant to reach out for help.
There's strength in asking for help. We don't just do it for us, we do it for our babies. They don't make you feel like you're just asking for something. They're really there to help you and to make everything better, not just your student, but give you tools that will enrich your child. So it takes a village at the end of the day. So I just say, I know we're sometimes a little prideful, but, just take the chance, go ask for help. You'll never know what you'll get.
Yeah, thank you. We got some great insight from that, and I really appreciate you being here and sharing your story. Let's look at a video and hear from some additional families who have worked with the Sunrise Centers.
I hear about it for my neighbor. I like a lot to come to the computer class, the English class, and the craft.
Recuerdo que me enteré del centro mediante una publicación vía web y desde allí pertenezco al centro. Por las clases de computadora e inglés, para mí me estoy desarrollando mucho en la pronunciación y todo lo que tiene que ver con la clase.
Impacted me because I feel better speaking English because the teacher is teaching us a lot.
Este centro da ayuda con despensa a la gente que lo necesita.
Esto de que nos brindan la ayuda así que nos dan comidita y todo esto, pues esto nos sirve bastante porque muchas veces pues en nuestros hogares pues siempre nos hace falta algo.
Lo que es más importante del centro Sunrise es que ofrecen programas después de la escuela para los niños.
When I tell to the other persons about the Sunrise Center, I tell you have to come.
Thank you. Y vengan para acá.
It's great to hear that our parents are growing, learning, and getting something out of the work that we're doing. So I really enjoyed that video.
Melanie, if a family wants to visit a Sunrise Center, what would you have them know about gaining access?
Absolutely. So folks can access a Sunrise Center in 3 ways. They can go online to our website and they can scan a QR code in which they can submit their needs and or get the addresses to the 7 Sunrise Centers, and they can actually just walk into a Sunrise Center. And the third way, of course, is what we alluded to earlier, through our wraparound specialists and through the folks at the campus. If they submit a staff, then that's another way that a family can reach a Sunrise Center.
Yeah, and so you talked a little bit about this, Crystal, when you mentioned how you got to the Sunrise Center. So I think a lot of people are hearing about the Sunrise Center through these means, or we've done direct mail to let people know. What are some other ways that you know of people coming to the center?
Well, I did word of mouth. Okay. Word of mouth is the best advertisement out there, they say. Yeah. So tell a friend. You don't know what they need, just mention it, because some people aren't going to tell you. So I referred someone because they were unhoused. Okay. And they were staying with somebody, and they needed resources. They just came here. So they ended up getting provided with help with a place to stay. They also now have a job. The kids are enrolled in school. Now they're at their permanent school. They've transitioned, right, and now they're at permanent schools. They live somewhere. So it was just an amazing resource. And they kept thanking me for telling them. I was like, I didn't do anything but let you know the resource was there. So it was an amazing opportunity to watch someone just grow and get the assistance they needed that I couldn't provide.
That's amazing. And I think that's exactly the kind of stories that we want to hear that are happening. But it brings up something else for me, which is just this idea of like we're providing a lot of services, basic needs, a lot of things at the Sunrise Center, a lot of things through Wraparound. What's missing? What is that service that we probably ought to have that is sort of a big need for families that we're missing?
One thing I do look at is a lot of people don't have transportation. They can't afford it. So they ride the bus, and buses, they're cheaper, but sometimes you don't even have the funds to ride the bus. Yeah. So maybe bus cards or something to get out there.
Well, Sunrise Centers, as well as Wraparound, we actually are able to provide Metro cards. So whether a family is in our center and they need that transportation support, we have that resource to provide them, and or they can go through our Wraparound specialist.
Oh, that's great to know now.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that we can think of that families might need or want that we're not thinking through? We've got Ms. Thomas here giving us all of her insider knowledge.
No, I think it's just more of getting more people to put the word out there. Yeah. Other ways to get the word out there, because y'all are doing an amazing job. I've met a couple of people in the end, and that list is very detailed. So anything on there that you're needing, they do try to accommodate. And if they can't do it, they try to find someone that they partner with that can. So I think they're doing an amazing job of trying to get all the resources.
Parents, if you or your student needs something, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help. There are a few ways that you can get in touch with Sunrise Centers and Wraparound. Anyone can complete a student assistance form or a SAF, and that SAF will alert the Wraparound team at campus and your Sunrise Center to follow up. You can also call us at 713-556 888-848-8484 or email us at sunrisecenter@houstonisd.org or wraparoundadmin@houstonisd.org. You can also reach out and contact your child's school, and they will direct you to the right resource. Thank you all so much for spending your evening with us. Thank you all so much for being here, and have a great night.